Well, I think it's time to get rid of the old fan and put a proper AC unit in here. We've gone to Old Air Products and they provide us a 67 to 72 AC unit, and it's a direct fit, day or two to get it all in here. And you know, Harbor Freight has equipped the entire tech center with tools, toolboxes, a bunch of cool stuff. But I think for this installation, it's just gonna be some basic hand tools, AC gauges, and a vacuum pump. So, you know, the first thing we need to do is pop the hood, get under there, and get to work. All right, so we're gonna start off by putting on the new pump. We got some new brackets and a harmonic balancer we gotta switch out, and pulleys. First, we're gonna get the alternator belt off. The only reason I'm gonna take the fan off is to allow easier access to the bottom pulley and the balancer down below. So the first step was to remove the belts, the fan, spacer, and water pump pulley. That way we could gain access to the bottom pulley and harmonic balancer, and then we remove that. All right, so out with the old and in with the new. This is not provided in the kit, but Old Air tells you what you're gonna need as far as an extra pulley and the new balancer. So we'll go ahead and get that installed. So I forgot, this bracket here, it's gotta come off because it's gonna sit on this side of the balancer. So let me just loosen it up real quick and get it out of the way. There, that should work. Now we'll go ahead and put the balancer on. Just remember, it's got a keyway. There we go. There we go, it's on. Put the bolt on there, we'll torque it down and move on to the next step. So these can be tricky just because the bolt pattern, lining up with the bolt pattern, lining up with the bolt pattern, with well, the lack of the ability to see. So what I do is I just get this straight up, then get this one straight up, and hopefully we can get close enough to get the fan bolt started. Old Air provided a new bracket and AC pump. That was installed next. Looks like our belt's about 2 inches too long, so no big deal. Alternator belt's on, it fits nicely, and we'll just run to the store and get another belt, but I'll have someone else do that and we'll move on and do a little bit more installation. Now it was time to drain the coolant, and there was a bunch, about 3 gallons. This way we could pull the radiator. Well, apparently you gotta remove quite a few things to get this condenser installed, starting with the headlight covers. One thing I wasn't expecting was to pull the grill out, but it made it much easier to install the condenser, dryer, and lines. Unhook the headlights and the blinkers. Before installing the condenser, we had a template to drill a few holes. Should be enough to get me through now. Driver side is the 3/4. It's gonna go all the way through because the last spot on the step drill is 3/4. Nice. The Old Air kit made it real easy to install everything onto the condenser before installing it. So the condenser lined up with holes already in the core support, which was sandwiched in between the radiator. Let's go ahead and add this discharge line. Okay. Once the condenser and radiator were installed, it was time to take the old heater hoses off and take the heater core out of the truck. So this is the whole heater blower and heater cores inside there. And the stuff's in really good shape, a little dirty, but we're gonna pull the glove box and glove box door off now. Once I removed the cold air vent on the kick panel, Old Air provided a block-off plate. Okay. All right, so it comes with a template. We need to do a 3-inch hole, 1.25-inch hole. This is where our heater hoses and AC lines are gonna come out of. Next, it was time to install the evaporator. So this is the adapter plate that's gonna go through the firewall, which attaches to the evaporator. Okay, go ahead and hang this evaporator in here. This is just a little plate that covers up where the old heater used to come out. We'll drill it. Before installing the grommet, I applied a soapy solution. There you go. Let's go over there and we gotta pull one of those caps off real quick. After installing the expansion valve, I wrapped it. We're gonna start running the plumbing for the AC. This is a binary switch, and basically what it is a high-low switch. So it will not turn the compressor on if there is not enough pressure, and it will not turn it on if there's too much pressure, which will save the system itself. So then it was time to cut and fit all the AC hoses. So to take the dash pad off, it did take a little bit of time, but it made it much easier with the glove box removed and pulling back the gauges. There we go. Look at that. With the dash pad off, it was time to install the defroster ducts. Let's just go in like that. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and hook the defroster ducts up now with the hose. It's got the little clips on there to kind of lock it in place once you get it over there. Trim the vinyl. Cut the wire. Once the defroster ducts were installed, it was time to run the hoses and reinstall the dash pad. All right, so we're going to go ahead and hook up the heater control valve pretty easy. This is going to go to the upper line, lower line. This is going to go to the water pump. This is going to go to the intake. So pretty simple. I like that. Perfect. Now it was time to crimp the AC lines that we had already cut to fit. Okay, everything's all crimped. Now time to install. After wrapping up the engine bay, it was time to turn our attention to the interior side by installing the under dash unit. Well, I think we're gonna have to drill a couple holes. All right. Oh man, that couldn't have been any better, guys. Good location, that's for sure. Now I gotta mark the other one and drill it. There we go. And now we're in. Got it. Pop this bad boy in. Done. Now one of my favorite things, wiring. I need to go from here all the way over to the evaporator, so this will be the one long run I have to do. Got it, I made it. All right, gotta run the other ones. All right, that goes back in nicely. Well, I think the wiring's wrapped up in here. I still have to run a wire to our binary switch, and then from the binary switch to our compressor, and the wiring should be complete, but we should probably check out the wiring in here. Let's turn the key on and turn the fan on. Got air blowing out of the 3 vents, out of that vent too. We got defroster, so everything seems to be working well. So I did something right today. All right. After the AC system was complete, it was time to vacuum the system out to pull the moisture and check for leaks. What I'm doing is I'm gonna vacuum the system out and make sure all the moisture is out of it, and then do a leak down test for about 10 minutes. And if we have no leaks, we'll go ahead and charge the system. All right, so I went ahead and added another 20 minutes to the vacuuming process. That way I knew all the moisture was out of the system. And then I did a leak down test for 10 minutes, everything checked out. So now it's time to add Freon to the truck. We have the Freon tank on a scale. We're gonna add 2 pounds in there, so I'm gonna fire it up and turn the gauges on and let it charge. I'll go turn on the AC. We got cold air coming in. I heard the compressor kick on. So I think we're good to go. I'm gonna get the front end all put back together, and we'll get it outside and let it warm up and see how the AC works. But it's already blowing nice and cold, and again, I heard the compressor kick on, so I know we got plenty of refrigerant in there. All right, let's see how this goes. One thing I know I'm gonna do though is roll this window up, because I don't need that old 40-mile-an-hour 2-window down AC anymore. You know, not bad for a couple days of work. Definitely could have been done in a day, but we shot a bunch of video. Definitely nice to have all those Harbor Freight tools on hand. This job only took, you know, some of the basic hand tools, but dang, they came in handy, worked as they should, and we're ready for some more upgrades. I think we're gonna hit the suspension next, different brakes, and move on from there. But yeah, great couple days.